Welcome back. Bob Maher is taking a 1-0 lead over Gabriel Nassif. That's 2 out of 3 in the finals of the last Master Series event ever. Maher actually looking to leapfrog his way up the career money list here. If he wins this match, I believe he winds up 3rd. Ben Rubin's been sitting in 3rd place for quite a while on the strength of 2 Masters victories of his own, but I think several people are going to leapfrog him here. Castle got a bunch of money, Maher got a bunch of money. A little bit of a shake-up there. And Johnny Magic looking to close the gap between 1st and 2nd as well, sitting in the Pro Tour top 8.
Coming back this season, the ghost of Pro Tour past, as someone said this weekend. He had top 4 at Chicago earlier this season, and now he's in the top 8 again with what looks to be a monster of a deck.
All right, so Bob Maher trying to win the Master Series here, up a game, and they played a dozen sideboard games last night. Nassif won 0 of them.
Yeah, Gabe cannot be happy with going to this position here.
Maher was actually taunting him between games, saying that, what, just because my 2 draw phases were Processor and Tangle Wire? Don't know if that was true or not, but we know he did not have the Tangle Wire when he revealed his hand from Metalworker. Well, he either didn't have it or chose not to show it.
Slow roll would be nice, but I don't put Bob on that there.
Would he have shown it? He could have slow rolled it, right? If he gets 2 more mana, he can
slow
bust
roll
it out.
Tangle Wire. I wouldn't slow roll Processor.
No. Well, he's claiming that he top decked it on his first turn. Would he have kept the Metalworker, the all mana Metalworker no threat draw?
Well, he has a Masticore, and the deck literally, like with the deck you have, it's nothing but mana and threats.
Right.
It's a lot of mana and some just enormous threats.
His Masticore's not that much of a threat.
It's not much of a threat against the Enchantress deck, but I mean you can just draw like a Tinker. He also had Upheaval in his hand. The spotter tells us.
Oh, okay.
So if he has another island, then he can just get the Metalworker Upheaval draw.
Fair enough.
And he can reset Gabe from any position.
Nassif kept his quickly. Maher studying his own draw.
Nassif without his trademark yellow hat.
Yeah,
he hasn't won it in a long time. It's very, very sad. I don't think it would fit on that hair, though. It'd sort of be hovering over his head like a halo.
I'll keep. Oh.
Turn 1 Wild Growth.
I take 2.
Ancient Tomb.
Sure.
Sphere of Resistance on the very first turn. That is bad times for Gabriel Nassif.
It's true.
He can't remove it, right? It's just stuck.
His deck cannot get that off the table.
So he just has to try to go off while paying an extra 1 for every one of his spells.
Yes. Which is actually entirely feasible. I mean, if Bob doesn't have really any pressure, he can set up and manage to...
So, City of Traitors, that plus Ancient Tomb is 4 mana.
Metalworker.
There's Metalworker.
Nassif really needs a Seal of Removal to get rid of that. Well, to get rid of it for a turn at least.
Yeah. Mostly he needs to build up mana so he'll be able to go off, right?
Absolutely.
Go.
Pays 4 mana for Enchantress's presence.
Now just look at how this game would have looked if he hadn't played Sphere of Resistance.
Yeah, he'd have been turn 2 in presence.
Turn 2 Enchantress.
Turn 3 Fertile Ground.
Something else, I'm sure.
Yep.
I mean, he would be up. He'd be having. Oh, here comes the Metalworker.
All right, what do we got, Bob? Tangle Wire, Voltaic Key, Voltaic Key. Not bad. 6 mana.
6 mana.
Does he tangle him up here?
I think
He needs a threat.
5 mana.
4 mana.
Oh, 4 mana.
Yep. Pays 2 for the key.
3 mana.
Untaps the Metalworker. 3 mana left.
7 mana.
Up to 7.
So
Up to
9
9.
mana.
9 mana.
Oh, he must have a stroke.
Stroke.
Yeah, it sure looks like a stroke. Island. Bye-bye City
12
of Traitors, but...
12 mana.
Stroke for 8.
Stroke me for 8.
See if does the math. Yep, you paid 1 extra for it, didn't you? All right. Wow. Nassif just leans back and shakes his head.
It's like, so you have Key Metalworker, and I have Enchantress's Presence, and you have 10 cards.
I mean, it's not clear the Key Metalworker stroke would have been fast enough if it wasn't for that sphere.
Absolutely.
It's all the sphere.
Sphere is absurd in this matchup. I mean, if I was playing Enchantress deck and I could name one card that I wouldn't want to see on the other side of the table, it's Sphere of Resistance. And it came into play on turn 1 in this game.
And Nassif knows it. You can look at him. He's just... he knows what's up.
He's like, yep. He's just sitting there whistling. He's like, you done yet? I would have cast a spell and say go. There were some really amusing games that I saw last night when these two were playing that involved stuff like Metalworker, Key, add 12 mana, Upheaval, play Metalworker, Sphere, Helix, go.
Maher does have to discard some cards, so that's
Tragic.
good news.
Tragic, really. I'm sure he's hurting inside. Nassif just rocking back, scratching his head. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Another bit of good news for Nassif. Bob's at 14. If you can get Yavimaya Enchantress down, it can do
like,
some damage.
It'd be like, what, 8/8 here?
It would be 5/5.
Oh, 5/5.
5/5.
+1/+1, yeah. There's a lot of work to do.
He needs to Ancestral Mask it is what he really needs.
That's what I was thinking. I was imagining with a mask on.
Then it would be gigantic. It would be 12/12. Crunch.
Nassif just whistling. Bob very serious, trying to make sure he doesn't mess anything up.
What did he discard? He discarded like Tinker and Helix? Good luck to you, Gabe.
Discarded a Metalworker, an island, and a
looked
pair
like
of
a blue
monoliths.
spell.
2 monoliths and a Metalworker.
When your opponent has Metalworker in play and is discarding artifacts,
Yeah.
it can't be good for you.
Hey, but he's got a 2-mana Wild Growth.
Yes! 2 more he can cast another 2-mana spell this turn. That would be very impressive. Ooh, it got a 3-mana spell. It could be the Yavimaya Enchantress. Frantic Search. Ooh, he could actually do something. I don't know really if he can do anything that's going to do much damage here, but...
He's got to try to play his game, pay an extra.
He needs to somehow activate Words of Wind several times. He needs to activate Words of Wind 4 times this turn somehow.
It's not like he needs to win this turn, though. He needs to build up his position so that he can win.
Well, he can get Helix
next
or
turn
Upheaval next turn. Bob can just play Island Upheaval and replay a bunch of mana artifacts in Sphere.
Upheaval would be a problem.
And he just stroked for 8.
Yeah.
So he very may have one in his...
Yeah, Upheaval is...
Upheaval's the card in this matchup for Bob. I mean, other than Sphere, clearly, but Upheaval's the card that actually wins the game. Sphere's the card that makes the game not get lost on turn 4. Helix isn't good enough, generally.
Right.
Helix can pin him down for a little while, but ultimately it's the Upheaval that seals the job.
How many cards do you see? 5. Okay.
Yeah, he's only going to have 3 cards after this Frantic Search. It's really difficult to go off from that position. He'd have to play... I don't really want to do the math and try to figure it out. To be perfectly honest, he's sitting there thinking about it, and I have to imagine what cards could be in his head. I'll let him figure it out and see what happens. Gabe actually has Ray of Revelation in the sideboard rather than Naturalize, because he was afraid of the Mirror and Alurin decks.
Interesting.
More so than Tinker. Interestingly, there I believe 1 Alurin deck, 1 Turboland deck, and 5 Tinker decks in the Masters.